In that case, I'll remove everybody. I'll
Yes.
start the stream. And then I press the intro. And then I add Ramad. Okay.
And remember to
All
go
right.
live on YouTube when you want the things to be start working there.
Yeah, I'm doing it now.
Hi everyone, welcome to PyLadies Con 2025. Today, I'm excited to introduce our first keynote speaker for this conference. My name is Ramatha Kintola, and I would be introducing Sarah Abderemane. I've known Sarah since last year, and I'm really excited to introduce her for this session. She has been an amazing person and she has been a friend. Sarah is the vice president of Django Software Foundation. She's a co-founder of Django Space. Professionally, Sarah is a software engineer at Kraken and she's based in France. Join me in welcoming Sarah Abderemane on stage.
Hello.
Hi, Sarah.
Thank you for having me. So thank you for the introduction, Ramat. I just have some slides. Is it possible to have it there on the screen? Amazing. Thank you. So we speak about the courage to lead imperfectly. So we'll start now. So I have a question for you first. How many of you didn't consider applying for a leadership role because you didn't feel ready? Leadership is often linked with perfection. You always want the things the best way possible. You will document yourself, have all of the knowledge required to do your work because it's important. You are the voice, the image, the guide to follow. And perfection intimidates. But imperfection brings people together. You feel closer because no one is so different than you. People think leadership folks are perfect. Everything is great. They are confident, fearless. But let me show you what is real leadership. And an image is more relevant. You see this iceberg. People will see the exterior above the water, but leadership is the whole iceberg. So many things are not visible to folk. Leadership don't want to show that either. So this is how it looks like. And the truth is, real leadership is human, messy, and courageous. And I'm now an internationally recognized leader, but some time ago, when I asked myself the same question I asked you earlier, I didn't feel ready to be a leader. And let me tell you my story. But first, I will give a small introduction. So my name is Sarah Abderemane. I'm based in Paris, France. You may have noticed with my French accent. I'm a software engineer working at Kraken. We also sponsor this conference. I'm the vice president of the Django Software Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization which supports and promotes the framework Django. I'm the co-founder of Django Space, which is a mentorship program to help the ecosystem of Django to have more contributors. And I'm also the main organizer of Django Paris Meetup. I have a website, which is sarahbede.com, and I'm almost everywhere on social media with the handle Sarah Abderemane. Don't hesitate to connect. So we all have an image of ourselves, what we want to achieve, the person we want to become, our secret goals. And let me tell you about mine. A few years ago, my goal was to be able to speak in front of people without shaking like a leaf. Yeah, you might not trust me right now, but really, this is what I wanted to have. And I always fear public speaking. Even if it was just in front of my colleague, it was a mission for me. And if I describe you the scene, it will be like this. You have the whole idea in your head, everything is scripted, this is great. And the second you are in front of people, your confidence is lost. You started to have a broken voice, you are not breathing properly, maybe even shaking. And then you forgot a part of your script, and you're bad for improvisation. You start to read your notes, you don't care about watching the audience, and then you cannot pretend you are not stressed. Your whole body betrayed you. So you will speak very fast, finish the talk, feel really relieved, but not fully happy about the performance. And this was me before. And being a leader is the same as public speaking. It's scary, but you learn and improve yourself by doing it, and it's rewarding at the end. I had a discussion with one of my beloved friend, Tim Schilling, about public speaking, and he told me something very simple but totally true. If you want to be better, you have to practice. Imagine me doing more and more public speaking, and I was so scared of it. But I know he was right. In public speaking, you can have coaches, exercise, books, and so on. But there is only one thing that can help you, it's practicing. This is the only way to improve. This is by doing it. And for me, leadership began with my own situation. Try to overcome fear, achieve the goal I have set for me, and then I would be able to help others. And using my voice, even if it troubles, be able to share my message. And learning what needs to be improved and starting over. There is one myth I used to believe. Leadership people know almost everything and they are 100% confident. And I can tell you, this is definitely not the reality. 58%. This is the number of tech leaders who experience imposter syndrome at some point in their career. And for those who may not know, imposter syndrome is when you feel like a fraud despite your accomplishment and fear being found out as not good enough. You minimize your successes as luck rather than recognizing your own capabilities. And as someone who is part of underrepresented minorities, I check the numbers for women, and it's even more. 75% of women in leadership roles who are experiencing imposter syndrome, according to a KPMG study. Being a leader is doubting about everything. When you become a leader, you don't always have the manual to be a good one. You will learn during the journey, learn things, but also learn on yourself. This can be learning the hard way, but it's not always the case. One thing you can't remove from leadership is the fact that it's challenging. I discovered myself through this journey of becoming a leader. And I didn't even think about being a leader, especially a board member of an international organization. And when board members' application opened, someone told me I should apply. And thank you, Mariusz, for that. I think I wouldn't have without this message. And the first question I asked him, why? And he replied, and I started to slowly make my mind on if other people think the same, maybe I should do it. So I asked 3-4 folks if they are thinking sort of the same. They will describe why and the qualities that would be beneficial by being on the board. And then I started to slowly think about what I really want to do myself, why I should be a good person for that. And one thing that made me apply is wanting to be the kind of person whose choice gives others the confidence to step forward. I wanted people to be able to identify themselves with the new board, because the board is supposed to serve the community, but it's also a representation of that same community. And I really believe representation is important. Having diversity in open source is already hard, but having leaders which represent diversity is even harder. Did you know that only 3% of open source contributors are women? This number is from GitHub 2017 open source survey. So I reached out some of my friends to review my application before gather the courage to finally hit the submit button. And every one of them saw leadership in me before I saw it in myself. I just give it a try with no real conviction I will be elected. And funny enough, I learned that I've been elected during a work team meeting outside of my country with a message of my friend, Dom Gibson Wages, so excited for me that I've been elected. And then the beginning of excitement and fear and so many questions that start popping in my head. I don't know how to do this. How this is supposed to work? And if someone asks me something and I don't have the answer, or I don't know how to get the answer. So many questions. But at the end, the board was an interesting experience because you don't really know until you are inside. I learned so many things through this experience. You can take a role or not when you join the board. I was not fully sure of what I will do on the board, so I chose to not take anything the first year. I observed, tried some things, but it was a learning process. I observe, and at the end, I learn and try at the same time. I learn about the history or how things that happened in the past have an impact right now in my current time and during the Monday. So I try to do things my own way. I had no clue how it will go, but I did. For things that I really wasn't confident, I asked either the members or the board members or working groups, for example. You always have people who will be willing to help. And of course, I made mistakes. Things didn't go as I expected, but this is part of the experience. It's not a bad thing. It's the best way to learn. I read the book Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway from Susan Jeffers. This is a really nice book. I really recommend. And one sentence stuck in my head, which is, if you are focused on the way it's supposed to be, you might miss the opportunity to enjoy the way or a different way of what you have imagined. And this is something which is hard to do, at least for me. But I keep this in mind because this is completely true. I'm always imagining the way it should go because this is the perfect way or this is the best way, but this is not always how it will go really. And if you keep on this vision, you might be really disappointed. And I have an example of that. I have recently given a talk. I tested everything before the streaming. Everything was okay, no issue. And during the talk, I had browser issues. The browser just closed randomly, unexpectedly, and I had to reconnect every time. And I was mad inside just because of this issue happened only during the streaming. And the host told me it was completely fine. The talk was great. I reconnect quickly and people seemed really hooked. So it was authentic and really interesting. And these are the type of things that can happen, no matter how much you are prepared before. You have no control, and it's fine. People might not see the same way, and the purpose is the most important. If you manage to do what you wanted, share your message, even if it's messy or with mistakes, then it's a success. The result of me becoming a leader, being part of the Django Software Foundation, is overall a success. I had the courage to lead things imperfectly. I managed to do all the things from my application. Some of them are still in progress. But I did improve the community and the organization compared to when I joined, according to me. And I achieved one of my personal goals through this leadership role, being able to do public speaking without shaking like a leaf. And I have new goals, new things to experience, and new fear, of course. But I just feel the fear and do it anyway. And as you can see on the screen, there are many more leaders. And this is amazing to be part of leaders like that. And I shared with you all of this story to show that being a leader is mostly being human and trying your best. And this is actually a long path. You will learn things. You will make mistakes. You will pretend you are confident, even if you doubt about yourself inside, or you will do things really scared. And all of this is fine. You just have to acknowledge what is good and what needs to be improved, and keep going and do better next time. If it's an improvement at the end, you will not recall the difficulty of the changes, especially for community folks. The most important is to keep the core value you wanted to bring. If you want to gather people, do it, even if it's unorganized, or even if it's your first time leading a meeting. Some people might not even notice it's your first time. And be able to speak up. This seems something to be simple, easy to do, but it's not the case in all circumstances. Just the fact of raising your opinion, which is not the majority, is something. But you never know what will happen next. Maybe you change the mind of everyone, maybe not. But most importantly, you give your opinion, and it matters. One day, everyone was in favor of doing an action for the grant in the board. And I didn't agree with this action. To me, it was just unfair. And I did mention that and explain why. I didn't expect people to change their mind, but I just wanted my voice to be heard. That's why I was elected, right? And doing this simple thing is already scary. And did you know what happened next? Everyone agrees with me, and we decided to do the other action I have suggested. It was beyond what I expected at the beginning. As a leader, you have the ability to make an impact. And I don't know how many people I have impacted, but I do know I made a difference for some. And I'm always impressed when someone tells me they would like to be like same as me later, or being brave enough to do public speaking. And being brave is the key here. Try things even if it's scary. I try to always remember Nelson Mandela's quote, "I never lose. I either win or learn." Leading is a learning process. You do things you are not comfortable with. You are being courageous. And being a leader is having enough courage to try even if you are scared to do it. You are exposed to many people, yes, but your impact is tremendous. Leaders can change things. And this is what I did during my leadership, transforming fear into action. And this is not what leaders will share with you, but this is something we all do at some point. Brave to face the criticism. Brave to do action you are not comfortable with. Brave to share with vulnerability. In the end, I'm just someone with enough courage to do those things. And I know in the audience, there are folks like me, folks who can be the future leaders. You just need to be brave enough to try. To sum up, organization should reflect the community. This is how other folks will identify and feel confident to try themselves. The next leader can be you. Try things, even if it's not successful. This is fine. Just feel the fear and do it anyway. Chances are others are scared too. And by showing up, by being the helping hand, your bravery make it a little easier for them. Try to be kind with yourself. Mistakes are part of the process. I know this is hard. And speak up, share your opinion, even if it's not always the majority. Your opinion matters. You just need to do it in a respectful way, of course. You might be even surprised by the result, and you will learn something in any case. Some things can change only from the inside. That's also why I wanted to be part of the board and learn how it works. If you want something to change, be the change. To answer the initial question, you will never be completely ready before becoming a leader. And that's okay. You don't need to be perfect to be a leader. Some people do amazing things, but backstage, leaders are scared to do some things. The key is just give it a try. And if you can inspire trust through your action, listen before you speak, help others grow, and make action with both courage and humility. Acknowledge contribution and celebrate successes. You are already possess the capability to lead. So now the real question is, where will you choose to lead? Many organizations need your voice, your ideas, your courage. So my call is simple. Step forward. Take that action you have been hesitating on. Start leading today, right where you are, with what you have. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Your talk has been very insightful and inspiring. I can definitely attest to it that you've impacted me very much ever since I was fortunately to know you, to meet you. You've really impacted me. And congratulations on achieving one of your personal goals as well.
Thank you.
So we are going to start with question now. We have one question on Discord. So if you were to start again into doing community work, is there something you would do differently?
That's an interesting one. I think I would have done exactly the same. Not because I think there are things I would have been better, but just because when I studied, I had to do some mistakes to learn things. And I'm not sure I will have learned the same way if I have done things differently. but there is always things we would like to change, and sometimes it's better that's just doing it. And if it's a fail, it's fine. So I guess I would have done exactly the same.
All right, that's wonderful to hear. Thank you for sharing. We have another question. Um, would love to hear your take on integrity in business world. Oftentimes, there's a lot of focus on bottom line and barely any on integrity. In fact, most times integrity gets sacrificed for money. So, one of the participants would love to hear your take on integrity in the business world.
Yeah, I know this is hard, especially having integrity in business world, because there are always the fact that you need to make money, especially in the business case. But at least I think there are still companies who try to keep integrity and make sure that the value are important, despite the fact that we need to make money to run the business. But I know that this is not always easy to either keep, especially with companies that scale a lot. But there are still like companies who try the fact. I know, like for example, my current company, Kraken, trying hard to have that and have integrity. So I believe this is something that is not always common in companies, but there are some who definitely have that and try their best to keep integrity in their members and in the value of the company.
Thank you so much for sharing. So we would take more questions if there are any. And yes, you are seeing a lot of thank you for such a wonderful keynote. It's very inspiring. I really love that you were able to like share your journey, and then basically if you've inspired me a lot, I'll definitely go ahead and do the things that I want to do now.
Oh, amazing.
Thank you. So in the yes, we have people in the chat saying as well that they feel more confident hearing you talking about your public communication and leadership qualities.
Yeah, I'm someone normal. I'm like you.
All right then. Thank you once again, Sarah, for such an insightful keynote. This is such a well given talk and well